Welcome to this live or this recording. Feeling compelled to pop on here and to create this live video. So I invite you to take a breath with me, wherever you are, and these incredible energies and momentum that is happening on Earth and through us and for us. And energies that is stirring up the density, the limitations, the resistance, as the old consciousness is dissipated within us and the external world. The structures within us that upheld the old consciousness of control, separation, belief in separation, and all the strategies of survival from a belief in separation, being separated from our source, being separated from our infinite abundance, being separated from our light, the light of God, the light of source, being separated from our worthiness, innate worthiness, to absolutely know that I am God also. And as I'm speaking these words, I'm clear in my own heart and energies and from my throat. So if you may notice that things are stirring up within you over these this build up into the 888, August the 8th, the Lion's Gate, the Syrian gateway. Another opportunity of acceleration of energies and alignment and intentionality, where it becomes more important, more impactful, our intentions and our alignments of intention and focus. Is our words and our actions lining up? And these last few days, I've been really feeling the pushback of when the inspiration that's coming through, the energy that wants to be shared or spoken, inspired into my existence, into sharing and caring, and as this connected portal, if you like, or this vessel that I represent, that we all represent, as the looking glass, so to speak, of source, of ultimate, infinite consciousness, seeing through the eyes of source. My human nature has been pushing back with resistance. And some of how that has been showing up is a strong inner critic, and and in that pushback is a feeling of energetic stuckness. So the energy that's coming down, that wants to expand consciousness on the planet, it is expanding consciousness on the planet, and it's just really a matter of, are we expanding? Are we allowing ourselves to expand as well? And as it pushes through, as it moves through, comes into the earth and comes back up from the earth through our bodies, it is pushing up the density of the old consciousness, because this is how we alchemize and transmute the old consciousness into the new consciousness, new thought, new possibility, new creation, new imagination, like this beautiful creation I created on an AI Imagine Art, by putting in what my imagination was. So this is my, with the help of AI, to come up with this imagination of this beautiful, magical fairy world with lots of color and vibrancy. We are the great imaginators of our reality. And this is why, as awakened beings, as awakened conscious divine beings, it is so important to accept And I know how challenging that is to truly, 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 truly accept who we really are beyond the limited mind, the mental mind construct, beyond the limited egoic construct, if you like. It's all a creation of the personality with this identity and its attachments and its program for safety at all costs, survival of the fittest. So many programs and fear, pushback, resistance to actually allowing change, allowing transformation, allowing transmutation that moves cellularly as our body is transmuting, is, yeah, literally shifting, alchemizing from carbon to more crystalline light body, light body, light body. So take a breath with that. As I speak to you, I am acknowledging you as an awakened being, as an awakening being, wherever you are on your journey, whether it's just kicked off in the last few years, the last few months, the last few decades, or a decade or longer. You know, we're kind of at a stage that it doesn't really matter that anymore. What matters is following your heart and your inner guidance, which is connected to source, and navigating your path, which is unique to you, and yet it is part of a collective bigger picture of consciousness, a bigger divine blueprint, if you like, of awakening at this time. And there's many layers and many levels to it. And so, you know, as we unpack our awakening journey, we can kind of get caught in certain layers and levels of that discovery, which is beautiful. It's all part of it. It's all, you know, helpful. The challenge can be not to get too caught in it for too long. And so with that requires great discernment. And the discernment is this helpful? Is this expansional? Is this supportive? And that's something that only you can know within your beingness. So, for example, if I was to watch the news, which I'm not guided to these days at all, even the alternative kind of news, or, you know, the channels I would watch to kind of get an overview of the news, even I can't even, I'm just not, I can't, yeah, energetically, I don't find it, like, it doesn't resonate even to listen. Like, it's more like it's not needed anymore, you know. But once upon a time, I would listen more so, especially in 2020, 2021, 2022 even, to get an idea of what was going on more globally, but also from people who were more awakened and were doing their research to kind of gather that research. And now at this stage of the game, so to speak, the feeling I have is that we're so much in the new energies. There's so much new consciousness and frequency that my consciousness, my inner guidance, is focus on the new, focus on what you're creating, focus on the imagination, focus on what is the new dream, what is the new intentionality, and to allow that to be grounded and embodied and spoken through, because it's actually happening through each one of us who are willing to get off the old game, so to speak, of the old consciousness, with compassion, with awareness, with the wisdom, with, you know, the journey that has been taken through that, of course, and the journey that may continue, of course, as we move through this transition, as we harmonize. Ultimately, it's all, from my perspective anyway, as my awareness, it is, well, it's quantum. So it's not linear. It's more quantum. And so it's like, on one level, we're moving through a transition. We're moving from the old consciousness or the dualistic consciousness into more of a harmonious or unified consciousness. And what that really looks like is there's not so much friction Whereas in the dual consciousness, it's opposing forces. It appears that there's opposites, and they have no, they can't bridge the gap. It's like us against them, right? So it's divisive, division, friction, battle, all of this, even between our inner masculine, inner feminine, or, the women, the men, so this idea of this friction, rather than finding where's the bridge. Yes, we can have our differences, and yet we are from the same source. So where can we complement one another? Where can we co-create and collaborate? So the new consciousness is very much about that. It is about holding what might seem like a paradox, an unfathomable paradox in the old consciousness. It's very easily being able to hold the knowingness, because it's a deeper connection to yourself. That's why know thyself is your inner journey, is such a big part of this transition of consciousness from more externalized into a more internalized awareness of self and recognition of self as more true, the inner being, rather than the externalized outpicturing reality, which at this stage has been so muddied, and so I can use some of these kind of words, hijacked, but it's been controlled, basically, to have people think in a certain way, have people feel in a certain way, to buy certain products, or to go in this particular pathway. And so it's very manipulative, manipulatized, that's a word, at this stage of the game, and that's what we awaken to. We awaken and go, whoa, okay, I used to believe this about myself, that I was limited, that this is what was possible for me. I had to go to a job and work this many hours to get this money to pay this bills. It was very structured. It was very, it was there wasn't a lot of wobble room. Certain people are lucky, certain people aren't. The haves and the have-nots, all of this righteousness, wrongness, very strong opinions, all that jazz, which of course has led to a lot of conflict and a lot of friction, a lot of battles, internally, externally. And so as we're awakening, uplifting our frequencies and shifting our thought pattern by letting go, releasing the duality of the past, so that duality collapses into neutrality. So within us, so the light and the darkness is just what has been rejected, really. So as we, through our awakening, it takes great courage to really be with that which has been rejected. And if you want to go to the extreme of that rejection, that is the extreme of polarity into the judgment of duality, in the belief in separation. So that's a lot of what is breaking down, so to speak, dissipating as we awaken. Is come to me as an awareness of corridors of time, or those places, compartmentalizations, separation, identities, even. My computer is doing interesting things. Woohoo! Oh, that's interesting. I have no idea how that all happened, but I like it. I like it. Be open to surprise, and be open to technology working with us. That's a very interesting topic to actually move into as we move into these new energies and new frequencies. Ooh, I can feel a bit of emotion with that now. Maybe that's, yeah, okay. So let me take a breath. Oh, so a big part that plays out in 3D reality is fear, fear of the consequences of what might happen, fear of the future, fear of, rather than being present in the now and recognizing that in the now, all is well. And all can be accepted in the now, all can be worked with in the now. And that truly the now is the point of power, because everything happens in the now. We're either focusing into the future, worrying, getting anxious about what's coming down the line, or we're in the past in regrets. I could have said that, I should have did that, da 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 da, judging ourselves or judging others, or being angry and annoyed, and why did they say this and why did that happen? You know, so we're still, our consciousness is still moving into the future or to the past. So as we awaken and through the practices of meditation and being grounded in beautiful nature and our breath and our authenticity. So one of the reasons I've jumped on here is to allow my voice, allow this energy to move through my vocal cords, to share this message of my higher self, my inner being, my true authentic beingness, connected to consciousness, to allow this unique flavor of vibration to reverberate through this body consciousness, and for this body consciousness to accept. And the tears is that place of finding that acceptance within my own body consciousness. Call that the egoic construct, if you like, or the subconscious. You know, it's the memories. It's the memories, and you know, it's been there to help us survive. It's the generational, you know, the memories that are DNA that we took on when we came into these bodies, you know, of the, you know, how we operate as a human. So the body is doing the best that it can. However, it is very embedded with this survival programming, and, you know, and then if there's trauma, energetics that have not been resolved, all that kind of stuff, are, of course, also, you know, other lifetimes as well, if trauma hasn't been resolved. So that can come up as well with this new up-leveling of consciousness and energies. So if I sound a little shaky, I am deeply at work to harmonize the body consciousness and the higher consciousness, if you like. Higher as in more expansive. So this flow of new consciousness energy can flow more gracefully through me. I invite you also to take a breath and invite in that this new consciousness flow more gracefully through me. I am the consciousness that directs my energy and my body consciousness. You are safe. You are safe in the new. You are safe to receive the new frequencies. It is okay to change, to adapt and change, to be flexible and flowing into this new energy and new consciousness. And so with that, moving into more of this new consciousness is more, at the moment on the planet, technology. So what's that going to be like? How, what, where, you know, from an old consciousness, it can seem very fearful. And there's lots of concerns of how that may unfold and play out as there is more AI and more robotics and more virtual realities and all of this kind of stuff. So on one hand, it is a great way to play with our consciousness and our creativity, and how we can work with technology, and technology can work with us to co-create. And then from an old consciousness perspective, of course, it's a great way to potentially manipulate and control and do power over and dominate and persuade and, you know, manipulate, basically, for a sense of, but through the lens of separation, through the lens of the limited ego who's trying to get its resources from others, its sense of power from others, rather than the new consciousness is infinite consciousness, infinite abundance, infinite resourcefulness. So it's being open as a channel. And so it's like we're allowing consciousness, source, conscious God, whatever you want to call it, to express through us as our unique soul expression. And that can be imbued with our galactic frequencies and galactic codes, awarenesses of the timelines, and the wisdom of those timelines as well. So just taking a breath. Ah, letting go on the exhale, letting go any resistance within the body to change. I speak this for my own body consciousness to hear, and I invite you to speak it out loud for your own body consciousness to hear. Every cell in your body is listening, is hearing the vibration of your voice. The energy basically translates. And from my awareness and from things I've had to pick up along my own journey is how to bring the light body and the earth body, we'll call it like that, or what has been the carbon body and the light body that is alchemizing, so that the density is and the density is being released. So the light body, we'll say, is moving down and the density is moving up. So the downloading, the uploading, or another way is the separation within us, between us and our inner being, our higher self, is collapsing. So what once in the old consciousness seemed very distant or very otherworldly, outside, or something you connected maybe, once you died, transitioned the body. Now it's like that part of us, the eternal part of us, is here as we move into this new consciousness. So we realize that being in the body is why we're here, is like consciousness is here to be in the body, and the body is here to be in consciousness. That it's a beautiful creation. It's a beautiful creation of consciousness to have experience in the human nature, through the human nature. And as we step into more and more of this, we move out of the survival templates, the suffering templates, which are really just created on the belief in separation in a dualistic, that translated into a very dualistic expression, consciousness, thinking, mental, mind, judgment, beliefs, more extreme, more extreme, more extreme, more polarity being pushed. And when you push it so far away from one another, the distance in the old consciousness had gotten so, and it still is for certain, certain places and groups on the planet, that the idea that these over here, who we may be thinking as our opponent or enemy, could actually be just a reflection of me on the other side, on the other, the opposite scale, on the polarity scale. So awakening is really bridging the gap between us and us, so that we can integrate and return to wholeness. Because wholeness is wholeness. Wholeness isn't opposites. Wholeness is all-inclusiveness. Wholeness isn't a hierarchy. Wholeness is I am that I am. So now, how does that translate into technology? And that's definitely something I'm curious about and exploring, and inviting myself to really stay open around, of how, and interested in how technology, how I can use it as a conscious being, as a creative tool, as a joyful tool, as a fun, inspirational tool, and to open up into new possibilities with it. honoring the consciousness within me and how that consciousness interacts with technology very intentionally, very vibrationally. So that's the potential and awareness of where we're going. If you've come across some of quantum healing hypnosis technique sessions or different people who are playing, who share different recordings on the internet, including myself sometimes, I have taken some of my own clients, including my husband, actually. Actually, there is a video, I may link it below onto this video, where I am taking my husband Steve through a quantum healing hypnosis session. We've done quite a few together. And this is just a few months ago. I think it was back in February or March. And yeah, he went into a galactic lifetime for the first time, actually. Before that, it was always lifetimes on Earth that he had gone into. And this time was his first galactic lifetime. And one of the parts of that galactic lifetime, he shared about how they operated the spaceship, and they put their hands in something, I think some part, it was very connected anyways. It was very connected with the consciousness, and that's been reported by many people. And even some channeled information is that there is like this, is it like an immersion? But it's like they become, well, I guess become one. I guess wholeness is, there's a oneness. So it's all about frequency and vibration and resonance. So that's kind of where I see us going with it. It may take, I don't know how long it's going to take. It could take tens to hundreds of years, and it really is up to us as humanity of how much we will allow, and to the extent that we can allow it as well, so that we can integrate the new consciousness through our body consciousness. Because the idea is not only to awaken, not only to become into self-realized awakened beings now, to actually stay in the body. So we got to make this human life a lot more fun. And really, that's what mastery really is. It's joy. It's our joy. So if you connect with my frequency, it's very much about vibrancy and joy and magicalness, being open to the magic, and it's sure to appear. Being open to that possibility. And also, of course, as a being, as a multidimensional being, I'm bringing that frequencies here. So that was something that came to me for years we didn't come here to fit in, but really what I got just lately is like, oh, we came here to bring in. And I've heard that lots, but it was really from my own deep awareness, knowing it's like, oh yeah, I didn't come here to fit in. I came here to bring in. And I'd love to say, if I could, I'm releasing that judger, the judge, and the one that judges being different. Because in the old consciousness, it was so much about fitting in, to be accepted, to be safe, to not be, ostracized, to avoid being judged, because all of that could mean potentially unsafety, not getting your needs met, and death, as it has been for many of us. We've many souls, we've had many, many lifetimes, many, many deaths. And ultimately, now it's, as we heal all of that and reconcile, because it really is reconciling. It's like, there's reconciling in this lifetime with, say, trauma, which creates aspects or unprocessed emotions. So when they're processed, they start to, all those aspects start to reintegrate. So what was rejected or unprocessed comes processed and reintegrates. And then past life, same thing. It's like any past life energies or traumas that wasn't processed, even in the death process, then that becomes resolved, healed if required, and then all of that can be reintegrated as well. And that's where we go beyond the fear of death, fear of change, all of this kind of stuff. And yeah, we're living more in alignment with our source, with the truth of our beingness, which is absolutely unafraid. And yet this game has been so seductive to play out in the dualistic consciousness for so long, and especially in the body consciousness, it's very habitual. So for many of us, including myself, I'm giving myself the option, or the opportunity is a better way of saying it, to release those old templates, release those old habits, release those old resistance. And for me, that most certainly often it usually comes with tears, as the body squeezes out that old information held in the waters. You're aware that water holds memories. So as we cry our tears, we're actually releasing the old memories stored in the water of the bodies. So it's a beautiful thing, squeezing out of our cellular nature, squeezing out. And often, as an awakened soul, I'm often also giggling, and there's a great laughter in my heart and my soul, because my inner being knows what's going on. It recognizes the bigger picture. And it can absolutely be there with my body consciousness in its depth of despair or sadness or rage, and hold sacred space, if you like, or just knowing space that all is well. All is well. This is all part of it. So breathe into that, my dear soul, dear heart. Because I know it can be intense. It can be intense. The bodily issues that come up, we can call them ascension symptoms. Again, they're working out that resistant energy or density or pushback energy, which of course is playing out subconsciously until it comes up to our consciousness and we can release it through the acknowledgement, through the tears, through the healings, through the awareness, through the understanding, through the surrender, through the acceptance, through the allowing. All of these terminologies are what's pointing us in the as Abraham Hicks would say, pointing us downstream instead of upstream, instead of pushing back and resisting, which is we get caught in the mental mind, and it's overwhelmed because it doesn't have the answers, because whatever this new consciousness is, it doesn't fit into the left brain mental construct. So we have to find practices and ways to drop out of that and back into our embodiment, so that we can be in a fuller, more expansive wholeness consciousness. And the breath is one of the main doorways, if you like, to drop from the head back into the heart, into the body consciousness, into the here and now. So breathing into the here and now, feeling your feet bum on the floor, on the earth, grounded down into the earth. I'll take you on a little journey. I'll take myself and you on a little journey of consciousness, of energy, of attunement to harmonious frequencies, to really help. Oh, I can feel tears even coming, to support, because I need it as much as you, to support the body consciousness and the higher consciousness, the light body consciousness, to harmonize and alchemize, rather than the friction or the fear, or what the body consciousness is holding, is afraid to let go. Because what does that mean? I don't have control. How am I going to survive? How am I going to be in the driver's seat? Because that's the old way. Was used to being in the driver's seat. The personality, the ego, So great surrender, great allowing in this new consciousness, new earth frequencies, as I am leaning into calling it, as many people are now, as we feel more of a stronger anchoring, if you like, of these more expansive frequencies and new earth frequencies, joy, vibrancy, creativity is all part of that. More the right brain coming on, the right brain hemisphere coming online and working with the body consciousness from the heart, from the inner being. The heart is the portal of the inner being. the soul, connected to the universe, consciousness, infinite consciousness, and for it to move through this body from the inner outward to express in its infinite flow of expression, possibility. Okay. So I invite you to take a nice deep breath. Dropping down, 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 down into the pelvis, your pelvis and your legs, feeling your feet on the earth, or your bum on the earth at the seat, relaxing your shoulders, and you may need to circle them around a little bit. Give your body a little stretch, if you like. Breathing into sensation. Saying good morning, good evening, wherever you are, to this body, to the sensations of being in this body. Acknowledging being in this body. Breathing into this body. And as you breathe in, notice that you breathe in through the nostrils. Notice if you can feel the sensations of your breath. Moving in through the entrance to the nostrils. That skin just there, just below the nostrils and around the nostrils. Bringing your attention, your focus, bringing your focal point to just above the upper lip and the nostrils. Becoming curious as to what that sensation feels like. Allowing your breath to deepen, allowing the expansion of your lungs, the abdomen to relax, rib cage expand, chest expand. And exhaling, like a little sigh, reminding the body consciousness that it can just let go. It's okay to let go. You are safe. So that little sigh, we do that very naturally at nighttime. Might be when we close the door of our home or the door of our bedroom, or when we hop in bed, we go, ah. And then the body goes, oh, I'm cozy, I'm safe, all is well. I can go to sleep, you know? So it really signals to the body that all is well. So continuing to follow your breath. And now begin to bring your awareness and your focus, following the breath in and up through the nostrils to the top of the nose. Follow the breath as it goes down the back of your throat, down into your lungs. And become aware as you drop your awareness, as you follow that breath down into your lungs, become aware of the lungs expanding into the rib cage, the side body, the back body, the front body. Become aware of that rib cage stretching out through the intercostal muscles. And exhaling as the rib cage comes back in. Beautiful. Fully inhale. Notice the pause at the top of the inhale. Fully exhale. Slow and continuous. Feeling the belly button draw back towards the spine, completely emptying out the lungs as the diaphragm pushes from the abdominal cavity to the chest cavity. Relax the abdomen as you take in the next breath, as the diaphragm drops from the chest cavity down back into the abdominal cavity, drawing that vacuum of air to the bottom of the lungs. As the intercostal muscles in between the ribs stretch out, the breath is brought into the middle of the lungs, and as the collarbone lifts slightly to the upper lungs, filling out, expanding our capacity of the lungs, increasing our capacity of the lungs to take in more oxygen, more life force energy. And then from there, becoming aware of that breath now circulating from the lungs via the heart and being pumped from the heart through the blood cells, the red blood cells through the blood. Moving down through the arms and the legs, being pumped through the body, all the way through the torso, down into the feet and the hands, the neck and the head, the brain, all the internal organs, the joints, the ligaments, the tendons, the muscles, receiving the oxygen, and trillions of cells exchanging that oxygen for carbon dioxide, exchange of inhale and exhale. So as you do that, noticing with every breath how you're dropping deeper into the body, you're allowing that breath and life force energy to drop deeper into the body as the body accepts the new energies of breath, of consciousness. And the body consciousness and the newer, the more expansive light starts to come together and co-create together and harmonize together. So breathing into that now and accepting that now. Good morning. Steve, my hubby, just walked in, and little pooch, Mo. Hi, Mo. So notice how you feel, notice the effects of that little journey of breath. So simple, so profound, to help harmonize and alchemize and ground and expand and allow. Allow the integration of body, mind, and soul, so they're not working as separate entities, if you like. So the breath helps to bring them back online together, to harmonize them, rather than them working slightly in different focuses, in different thought forms, in different. So we're gathering that energy, collating it. That's the word, collating it. So it's harmonizing together, working together in co-creation, in collaboration, harmonization. And then that opens up the energy centers and the energy of the body to have a deeper communion and communication with your inner being, your heart, your soul, your guides, to be guided in every now moment, to have access to your inner guidance that's moving through you. The challenge is getting caught in the mental mind's construct, and the challenge with this expansional energies is that as they push up some of these old thought forms and densities, that can trigger off the fight or flight or freeze in the mental mind, memories, and then that can set off the resistance in the body to see it as a danger, as an unknown, so representing a danger potentially. And the old conscious doesn't have a reference for it. So this is where it takes a lot of trust, allowing, surrender, and dropping into that deeper self that has the bigger vision and the more expansive consciousness to carry us through, to carry the human through this journey. And so the human can relax into it. And so the relaxation, self-care is very important, to relax so that human can take the old human driver, the egoic kind of personality drive, taking the steering wheel and going, oh, it's my life, and it's all about me and separation and survival of the fittest. It's like that part is like, oh no, I'm part of a greater being, if you like, and that's what's guiding me. I'm just the vessel of expression, not just. I'm this amazing, incredible vessel of expression. My job is actually to surrender and to experience and to allow and to be guided, to listen, to allow. So it's a very different operating system. And that's why it requires a lot of rewiring of the neural pathways so that we're responding. So we get into the habit of a different response rather than the old survival reactivity. It's a practice. And we're in it whether we like it or not. And at the same time, we chose to, as a soul, chose to be here, chose to be in this experience, in this transformation, in this transcendence and immanence. So it's an interesting thing to consider that there's a transcendence of rising up or ascending, but there's also the immanence of the light body moving down, so to speak. And it's more like the meeting point where they can integrate on an energetic frequential level, so that the light body doesn't burn out the physical body. There's still a physical expression. It's just a lighter body. Because being a human is pretty fun, really, isn't it? We get to have experience on this beautiful earth. So let's imagine and use our faculties of imagination, of creation, to dream this new earth dream. Again, hence my picture at the back, part of that new earth dream of reestablishing that sense of beauty and love and appreciation of nature and safety within the self, within the being, and our connections to this earth and the plants and the animals and each other. So breathing in, receiving, receptivity also is a big key factor in the new energy, to move into more receptivity, which is the feminine energy, to harmonize that with the more grounded masculine energy, the feminine, the fluid energy, fluid, expansive, connected, and then grounding that in through the more masculine energy of focus, direction, embodiment, as a vessel to direct the energies through our thoughts, through our feelings, through our focus, through our intentions, through our imaginations. I'm going to complete with a tone just to really complete this integration of body consciousness, light body consciousness, higher self embodiment in the here and now. to harmonize. And you may you may find that this initiates your own inner guidance to create your own tones so that your body consciousness can really receive the reverberation of the vibration of your own tones. You may like to do that during or afterwards. It may come at a later stage. So just be open to however this may be received for you. Take a nice deep breath. And noticing what you notice. In the body, you may notice different sensations, different awarenesses. Allowing all of that to be received without needing to be run through the mental mind. Just allow it to be awareness and communication of energy, vibration. And breathing in, allowing it to move through the body consciousness, through the soul. That is very much a heart activation, inviting in more awareness of source light to really support the body consciousness in its remembrance that all is well, to trust the process and to allow the grounding, allow the being. Trust and surrender to the now without needing to figure this out. Use the mental faculties for focus, for intentions, for creation, for imagination. Focus on what it is that you truly desire to create. Respect the focus of your consciousness and where you turn your body, that you are lighting that pathway. So be mindful and aware and intentional. Follow the heart, follow the breath. With a sigh for the body, to know that it's safe to relax. Relax into this rhythm, relax into this ride of a lifetime, of an adventure. and to soften any harshness within the psyche. Harshness that created the inner critic, feeling shamed and separated, within the separation game, abandoned, rejected, hurt. So sending that, any and all of those energies, those parts of the psyche, just are blessings of love and light, and forgiveness, and reassurance that all is well. This too shall pass. And you will, breath by breath, moment by moment, day by day, all is being renewed into this new amalgamated, new infused consciousness creation. And it is unfathomable to the old consciousness, to the mental mind, because that is a smaller consciousness, smaller bandwidth, can hold a lot less information. So we surrender into the higher consciousness that holds a lot more bandwidth of information and awareness, as connection, as multiplicity, as quantumness, which is the right brain. Quantum can hold a multiplicity of information, layers and levels simultaneously, as any creative does. Creative artist, musician, multitude of occurrences are happening simultaneously. That is often unfathomable to the left brain of those looking on how they can create that. A dancer, certain movements. So we're being invited to be very open to the possibilities. To let go of the resistance, to change and surrender. And so it is. Namaste.